So here I'm out at Stone Lake Estates in Wichita Falls. I was a new resident here when this was being constructed. Over the years, many times I've used this little lake here to release turtles, and always seemed like a really good habitat for releasing turtles. I hope after almost 20 years, some of those babies are still surviving, and that they've had many babies of their own. There's not a lot of fishing going on here, not really a whole lot of human activity most of the time anyways. And these are some of your more high dollar homes in the area. Like you look at that house right there, and a lot of these are $500,000 or better homes. But unfortunately, these also tend to be the neighborhoods where you get the white Karens who bitch about the geese and don't want the geese pooping on their running paths. But anyway, when I'm out here to show you, what do you notice about this lake here? You don't see any Canada geese. Today, I've made rounds. I've been to several other bodies of water in the area, checking on my resident geese. I've been to Sissy's Lake. I've been to Lucy Park. I've been to one of the private ponds in a neighborhood not far from here. I've been over to the Weeks Park pond right up over here. Also over by Hunan, the drainage canal, the little creek that runs behind the Hunan restaurant. After I leave here, I'm going to Lake Wichita to check out there. All of these places that I visited, the half a dozen other places I've been to today, there were Canada geese. And this looks so great, so pristine and everything. You would think, why aren't there Canada geese here? Every other place I've been to, there are Canada geese out and about, except for here. Well, the difference is this barrier. See, all around here, we have this barrier. We have these aquatic plants coming out from the shore that are growing here. Over there on the far shore, we've got a bunch of elephant ears that are extending out into the water. But this is what many call a riparian barrier. It's a buffer zone between the water and the actual shore. So for a couple of reasons, the geese don't really favor this, and also the geese tend to worry about thick foliage at the water's edge, potentially containing predators, because that is also a downside too, is that when you have a real thick barrier like this, you're gonna have things like bobcats and coyotes and things like that are gonna always hunt around the shoreline of any kind of body of water. So, and they would love this, where they can sit and stalk some kind of prey, a duck or something like that, or a heron or an egret. Rarely have I ever been here where I've seen geese out here on this lake. There's probably been a couple of times that I can recall there have been geese here. But whenever I'm going around making rounds, looking for one of my goose flocks, I almost never check here, because there almost never any geese here. But not to say they wouldn't use it, but they would just stop in, maybe on their way to somewhere else. They would get a drink, rest, preen themselves, that sort of thing. But they're not really going to stay here. They're not going to hang around and forage and stuff, because they don't have really easy access to get up here. So this isn't a suitable place to raise their goslings. It's not even a suitable place for the adults to hang out and forage. So they're just not going to use it as much. There are a few gaps in a few of the places around shore where they could get out, but it's just not enough to be really welcoming to them. The geese have figured out there are other ponds and lakes and that sort of stuff in the area they can use that are better than this. So this is a much better option to do this than rounding up and exterminating geese. And there are some upsides to the habitat, biological benefits to the habitat with these barriers, and that's like with the aquatic plants extending out from the shore. That is going to provide some cover for your baby turtles, your fish fry to develop. and your tadpoles and things like that. Frogs love that sort of thing. So that's good for them. Whereas this may not be very welcoming to geese. The funny thing is, they more or less had this around most of Sissy's Lake over on the MSU property, and they stupidly just cut it all down. They had right around the time that they killed all the geese out there. See, what that was, they had somebody from some magazine that was going to be taking photos and judging the beauty of like what was the most beautiful college campus in America. So they were in the running for that. So that's basically why MSU killed the geese. They wanted all the geese gone before the journalists got there to take the photos and write the article and everything, because they wanted their award. And yeah, they got their stupid little award for prettiest campus, right? But it took them killing over 300 geese, almost 350 geese to do it. But they did have the beginnings of a riparian barrier over there around Sissy's Lake, and these stupid assholes mowed it all down because they thought that would beautify it for when the photographers came. What they should have done was improved that and extended it and thickened it and everything, but instead they just cut it all to where it's clear to the shore. Well, now what's happened? You've got the geese have returned, and they're going to be right back there, with those same complaints again. MSU employs biologists, but apparently they don't listen to them, or their biologists don't know what the hell they're talking about, because they just basically cleaned up the entire shore all the way down to the water. So all the way around the lake, it's easy access for geese to get in and get out. So of course they're right back with, if they want to complain about geese, they're continuing to provide the perfect habitat conditions for the geese to come there and then get out of the water and then forage. And you'll notice no goose poop here, and I could walk all the way around this trail, all the way around this lake, and I'll bet you I wouldn't find any goose poop. It doesn't deny the geese a water resource. They could land here and replenish and all that. What this barrier mainly does is it prevents the geese from running into a conflict with the Karens who are out on their jog and everything, who complain that the goose attack them and may rip their leg off, because they're jogging by and they're afraid the goose is going to kill them or something. It just avoids the whole conflict from occurring, to where you don't get the complaints and the calls to call in USDA and all that to begin with, because nobody complains about geese on the water. Like if the geese were just out here using the water, you wouldn't have complaints from people. Much better solution here than killing them. So take note of this, especially up there, you idiots, idiot mayor up there in Peapack, Gladstone, New Jersey, and all your idiot council members. If you want to prevent the geese from coming up onto the shore and having conflicts with people and pooping on it's biodegradable anyway. A couple of days it dries up and blows away. I don't know what all the leg pissing is, and hair pulling is about. But anyway, do this, get your shit together and do this, because this works. And this video I just took is evidence of it. Everywhere else I've been today, there's geese. This is the only body of water I've been to, 0 geese.